Mm-mm. Hello, hello. To make sure this is all good to go. You know what? Let me scoot over so you guys can see that. You don't want to see me. All right. There you go. You guys some Vegas to look at there. All right. Hello, hello. I see somebody, a couple people here so far. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate it. Let's wait another minute. See if anybody comes in. I know this was kind of a last minute um, live. Normally we try to go, or I try to go live around noon. Hello from the UK. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. So normally we try to go live, or I try to go live. This is, well, first of all, this is something new. This is only our fourth, and we're still figuring it out. Last week we were downtown on East Fremont Street, and it was terrible. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong. It was windy. There were lots of tourists on the corner. It was just kind of a mess. So I apologize for that if any of you were there. But like I said, this is new for us. This is only our fourth, so we're figuring it out. I do think there's a lot of value in us providing lives for you guys, really focused on what's coming up this coming weekend if you guys are going to be in town. So we cover weather, any news, recent announcements, and then of course what's going on in Vegas this upcoming weekend. Hello from Colorado. Happy Wednesday. Awesome. Be here in 3 weeks. You know what? The weather's going to be perfect, and we're going to talk about that also. There, Jessica. Jessica? Yeah, Jesse. We're going to talk about that because it's going to be perfect. So let's get right into it. So I'm Sebastian Rodriguez. I'm the host of Ninth Island Connection, which is our weekly lifestyle television show that airs across the entire state of Hawaii. We air here in Vegas about 15, 20 times per week. All of Southern California, we're available streaming on the Hey Vegas app, and that's on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. So you can download the Hey Vegas app and you can watch our television show. I believe all 3 seasons are up there and streaming, and that's our regular television show there that you can watch. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the weather because, you know, I always say in all of our videos that we post here, especially when we're talking about events and different things happening, that it's Vegas and anything can happen. And I'll tell you what, this week, everything did happen when it came to weather. So today is Wednesday. Just on Monday, we were supposed to get a little bit of rain. And when I went outside to take Carlos out, it was actually raining and sleeting at the same time. And I live in South Henderson, near Lake Mead, so closer to the mountains, I guess. And it was actually snowing. It was snowing outside. It was freezing cold. My little dog Carlos looked up at me like, "What are you doing to me?" I had to carry him back into the house. He didn't even want to walk. It was it was 32-ish in most areas in southern Nevada that morning, which is really weird and unusual for the end of January, beginning of February, because February, on average, our temperatures are around this mid 60s. So to see that happen the last couple of days of January was, but it's Vegas, right? So you never know what will happen. So let's talk about right now. Today, Wednesday, absolutely beautiful, high of 55 and full sun. This coming weekend, you're going to have, or in the next couple of days, you're going to have high 50s with lots of sun. So expect to have great weather if you're going to be in town this weekend. Saturday's actually supposed to be a high of 62 and sun, with Sunday being 65 and full sun. So if you're going to be in Vegas this coming weekend, it's going to be great to be outside, walking around, checking out the Bird Bar and people watching out there, Tom's Urban patio out there. Going to be great to be outdoors. But in the evenings, I have to remind you that as soon as the sun goes down, the temperature drops easily 20 degrees immediately. So always have a jacket with you. Expect to be colder in the shade as well, because the sun does excuse me, make a huge difference when you're in the sun versus in the shade here in Vegas. Planning for next time or next year, this same time. Perfect. Yeah, you're gonna love it. This time of year is perfect to be in Vegas. Unfortunately, the pools are, it's not really pool season, but it's great to be active outside in Vegas during this time of year. So let's talk about some recent news. We're going to start with what some of you may have already seen. Tom Brady did officially announce his retirement, and you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with Vegas? Early March, it's going to be actually really nice. You get around mid 70s in early March. March is pretty nice to be outside. You might even be able to get to the pool as long as it's full sun and there's no wind. So minus 19. Yeah, I tell you. My wife is actually in Minneapolis right now, and it's below zero. So I'm happy to still be here in Vegas. So let's get into the news. Tom Brady announced his retirement. So what does that have to do with Vegas? So the rumor mill was, with Derek Carr stepping away, that Tom Brady would be coming to Vegas next season to play for the Raiders, which would have been huge, right? And Tom Brady in Vegas makes sense because he's kind of a spectacle himself, and Vegas is Vegas, right? So Tom Brady, football in Vegas, definitely made sense. But he's announced his retirement, so that's done. Tom Brady is not coming to play for the Raiders. But let's talk about Derek Carr, because interesting, if you guys saw the Derek Carr situation, he got benched. He didn't like that he was being benched, so he decided to step away from the team so that he wouldn't be a distraction on the sideline there at the end of the season, which personally I didn't agree with. I think he should have taken the high road and maybe at least stayed and supported his team, supported the new quarterback for a couple games there, but he decided to just leave altogether. With that, he's actually going to be playing football in a Raiders uniform this weekend in Vegas, because he has been selected to the Pro Bowl to back up Joe Burrows. So if you're going to be here in Vegas this weekend for anything Pro Bowl, you will see Derek Carr out there at Allegiant Stadium wearing the silver and black. So what else is going on as far as news? Tropicana, massive construction project happening. The Tropicana overpass there in the I-15. So expect to be in traffic. If you're in a Lyft, maybe they will, maybe they won't, or taxi, I would just tell them, can you please avoid the highway, the 15 that runs parallel to Las Vegas Boulevard, because it's going to be a parking lot. It already is a parking lot on busy weekends, but with all of the construction happening around the Tropicana area, it's going to be an absolute mess. So expect to be in traffic. If you're driving in, it's going to be a mess. If you're taking a Lyft somewhere, expect to wait. I would advise just be patient, because these drivers really don't have any other alternative. With the construction that's going on, it's just going to be busy everywhere. So expect longer than usual wait times for a Lyft, for a taxi, shuttle service between the hotel and the airport, or whatever your mode of transportation is. Expect to wait. So let's see what else is going on. Interesting. So I always advise, if you watch our videos, to get off strip as much as possible, for restaurants, for entertainment, even gambling. You're going to find lower table minimums at some of the off strip properties like Red Rock, Sunset Station, those guys, Rampart. So a couple of restaurants here in Vegas were voted to Yelp's top 100 restaurants in the country. Now, what I really like about these restaurants is that they are not chains. They're mom and pop restaurants here in Vegas. They're off strip, which I love, because that's where you're going to get the best food, the best experience, best prices. So the first one is the Bao Spot, which that's Asian fusion, right? Bao buns. Look it up if you don't know what it is. It's absolutely delicious. They're voted number 60 in the country. They're here in Vegas off strip. Um, Zenaida's Cafe, which is kind of an exotic name, right? Zenaida's American food is what you're going to find there. They're voted number 24 in the country on Yelp's 100 list, and they're right here in Vegas, couple minutes off the strip. So definitely worth checking out. Excuse me, definitely worth checking out. And check and see if they make reservations. They may not because they're going to be so busy that they probably will not make reservations. One thing that I did notice with busier restaurants like this, when you make reservations online, you may have to pay a deposit. Like $10, $20 to hold your reservation, and if you don't show up, they keep that money. If you do show up, which you most likely will, that $20, that reservation fee, will actually go towards your tab. So that's actually something new that I wanted to share with you guys that we experienced for the first time, was having to pay a deposit for a reservation that we were making online for a restaurant here in Vegas. We had to pay a $20 deposit, and then if we didn't show up, they keep the $20. We did show up, of course, that $20 deposit went towards our tab. So that's something new happening here with restaurants. So don't be surprised if you make a reservation and you have to pay a deposit for your reservation. That's something new that we noticed here in Vegas. If you didn't watch last week, something new that happened downtown, Fremont Street Hotel and Casino down on Fremont Street Experience opened a brand new food hall, which seems to be the trend now. Food courts are going away, food halls are new. So, what is a food hall, right? And how is it different from a food court? A food court, you can spend $6 to $8 for a hamburger basket, cheeseburger basket. In a food court, you're going to spend $14, $15 or more for that same hamburger basket, right? It's elevated food court, but still has a food court feel. So that's new. And what they're doing down at Fremont, if you haven't been there in a while, they've remodeled every single one of the rooms, completely gutted their rooms and started over. The food hall is absolutely beautiful down there, and really from the outside of the property, it doesn't fit when you go in and you see that food hall area, and that transformation that's happening there, because they're remodeling the entire casino floor. It's all going to look and feel like the decor in the food hall area. So awesome. The sports book there at the Fremont is actually, I would put it, Circa definitely number one. I would say the sports book over at the Fremont would definitely be number two for me down on Fremont Street. Don't let the exterior of the building fool you. Go inside, check it out. I guarantee you're going to be impressed with what they're doing there at the Fremont. And you know what? I have nothing to gain by any of this. I'm not associated with Boyd Gaming or the Fremont Street Experience, anything at all. We just happen to be there for the ribbon cutting, and it's amazing. So definitely check it out. So let's talk about some recent announcements here in Vegas, starting with the Jacksons. Now, there are only 3 left performing together. No longer the Jackson 5, obviously. 3 of them performing together. They announced that they're going to be at the Palms, which is across from the Rio, on April 1st. So the Jacksons are going to be down there on April 1st. That was just announced yesterday, I want to say it was just announced. So check out the Palms website to get your tickets if you want to see that. The big news today that was announced this morning is Beyonce. Beyonce is going to be in concert at Allegiant Stadium on August 28th. Now, that one is definitely sure to sell out. If you're a Beyonce fan, tickets are on sale now. Allegiant Stadium is a great stadium. In my experience, for concerts at Allegiant Stadium, it's really not the best because it's so massive. Allegiant Stadium is a massive, massive venue, and you can wind up spending a lot of money to be watching Beyonce perform on a screen. So up to you if that's how you roll and that's your budget. Check her out. Allegiant Stadium is a beautiful venue, but like I said, in my experience, not the best for concerts. So Stevie Nicks is going to be at T-Mobile Arena on March 18th. T-Mobile Arena is a much better venue for concerts, in my opinion. It's smaller, really not a bad seat in the house if you've ever been there for hockey. You know, it's a much better experience. So Stevie Nicks is going to be out there. Blake Shelton did a groundbreaking earlier last week for Old Red, which is going to be a 4-story concert event, food venue, you name it. That's going to be on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo. If you guys are familiar with that corner, that's right at the front of the Grand Bazaar shops, where you have Las Vegas Boulevard. Across the street, you've got Bellagio, and to the right is Cromwell. So that bridge area, we have Sugar and those little, the people trying to give you concert tickets and that kind of stuff. That's where Old Red is going to be. It's going to be 4 stories. It's going to have a massive stage with second and third floor being kind of like horseshoe shaped areas, so that everybody can look down at the stage that's going to be down on the bottom. And then, of course, with a rooftop bar right there in the corner, going to be amazing down there. I can't wait for them to open. That's supposed to be opening this fall. And yes, construction is already going on that venue right there. This I thought was interesting, but it seems to be like Circa Sports kind of led the way with this one. So Caesars Sports, sports betting, has partnered with the Downtown Grand. So Downtown Grand is down on Fremont Street Experience. It's one of the older properties down there. Their sports book is now managed by Caesars. It's a Caesars sports book that's in the Downtown Grand. And it is located where the high limit slots used to be. So there's a lot of activity, a lot of things happening down on Fremont Street, right down there by the Downtown Grand. At the plaza, they have ongoing construction for the Carousel Bar that's going to be under Oscar's Steakhouse. So Oscar's Steakhouse is up here above the lights, and then you have the iconic entrance there where music videos have taken place. The Hangover had a scene there when they were in Vegas, and what's his face? Leslie Chow was parachuting down there into Fremont. So that is going away. That's going to be the Carousel Bar. And so if you're down by the plaza this weekend, or actually the next couple months, you'll notice plywood up there and construction happening back there. That's what they're doing. They're also building a balcony or patio next to Oscar's Steakhouse there on the second level. So when you go up to Oscar's Steakhouse, there'll be a patio option right there on Main Street and Fremont Street Experience. So that's going to be pretty cool. And that's supposed to be coming this summer also. So definitely looking forward to that. David Spade and Nikki Glaser have announced they're going to begin touring exclusively together. Nikki Glaser and David Spade. Their first event or concert here in Vegas is going to be April 28th and the 29th. So 2 shows at the end of April. They're going to be over at the Venetian. They're going to be coming back to Vegas, though. They've announced that they will be here in June, and November, again, down at the Venetian. So check them out. I've seen David Spade several times. I've seen him in Hawaii. Really, really funny. And one of those few comedic actors that actually do a good stand-up. And if you watch a lot of comedies like I do, you probably agree that just because you're funny in a movie doesn't mean that you're going to be funny as stand-up. He's one of the few that I've seen that is funny in stand-up and funny in movies. So definitely worth checking out there. One more announcement there. Seal is going to be here in Vegas at the Venetian as well. He's going to be there June 2nd and 3rd. So if you're a fan of Seal, you want to be kissed by a rose there at the Venetian, June 2nd and 3rd, you can see Seal. There's a new spot that has opened up in the Grand Canal Shops where we're talking about the Venetian called Flight Club. Now, Flight Club, it's called Flight Club Social. It's all about darts, food, beer, but really elevated. It's a UK brand that has made its way here to Vegas. I'm sure it's very popular in the UK, which is why they decided to make the jump across here to the Venetian, which if you've been to the Venetian, it's got a very European vibe. to it over there, so it makes sense. It fits for them to be there. Um, so that's a cool place. It's all about darts, bar food, drinks, and a good time. So that should be fun. That's already open down in the Grand Canal shop. So check it out. So now let's move to this weekend. What's going on this weekend in Vegas? It's all about the Pro Bowl everywhere. There are Pro Bowl events in Henderson. Green Valley High School on Saturday, the 4th, is going to have flag football with the youth. There's going to be NFL players out there. They're working with the Boys and Girls Club over at Heritage Park, also in Henderson. There's 8 countries participating in a flag football event. You've got Australia, Canada, China, Ghana, Germany, Japan, Mexico, and New Zealand, all participating in Pro Bowl events this weekend. So you can expect a few things this weekend here in Vegas. It's going to be extremely busy with Pro Bowl. It's already busy now. Wednesday, people are already coming in. There are events that started today, Pro Bowl events that started today. NFL players are out in the community. They're planting trees. They're hanging out with the Boys and Girls Clubs, doing all kinds of stuff across the Vegas Valley. So expect for the bars to be full, expect for restaurants to be full, expect heavy, heavy traffic. But you know what you can also expect is people are going to be excited. People are going to be having fun. There's so much going on in Vegas this weekend related to the Pro Bowl. Now, if you're not a sports person, the weather is absolutely amazing to be outside. I would recommend heading down to the Arts District, 5 minutes, if that, down Las Vegas Boulevard, heading north just past the Stratosphere. There are tons of breweries that have opened up down there. They have outdoor patios. They've got live music, great food, open air environments, very walkable, where you can just go down there and go bar hopping to different breweries. Great for groups of people down there. If you're coming with a group, definitely head down there. And you know what? You're definitely not going to pay the same that you're going to pay at bars and restaurants in the Strip corridor, which is the Stratosphere through Mandalay Bay, right? Much less expensive, better service, better quality food, in my opinion, for the price that you pay. Also, and like I said, it's a great time to be outdoors here in Vegas. So that's really it for this weekend coming up. It's all Pro Bowl. Everywhere you look, it's going to be Pro Bowl, which is smart because you don't want to compete with what's going on at Allegiant Stadium. Now, if you're not going to the game, head on down to T-Mobile Arena outside there in the park area. It's always fun. You've got the brew house there. They've got bags outside or cornhole. They've got ping pong tables. It's an open air environment. You can be outside with groups of people. Really fun time down there. Hey, Tracy. So that's it, guys. I'm going to take a few minutes here and answer some of your questions. I did see some coming in about the weather, early March. I'll start there. Weather in early March is great. It's perfect to be outside. You might get a pool day, depending on what is early March for you. Definitely in the afternoon when the sun is at its peak, 3, 4 o'clock, or 2 to 4 o'clock, it's going to be the warmest to be outside, but it's going to be really nice out there during that time. NASCAR is the only sport I follow. Everything else is fluff. So you should have been here last weekend. They're insanely average because they did have an event out at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway last Sunday for charity. You could have driven laps around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which is pretty cool. You know, a lot of people don't know that the Las Vegas Motor Speedway actually partners with a lot of children's charities here in Southern Nevada. They do so much for the community, which is nice. And, you know, if you don't live here in Vegas, you probably don't know that they do so much in the community. But yeah, they give a ton back over there. Let's see. Go to where the regulars go. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, one of the areas that we love is that Arts District area, and even East Fremont. The Container Park is fun to sit outside. They have a lot of events on the weekends. They have hula. They've got live music. They've got the obnoxious chess pieces and checkers games that you can play out there in the field. Really nice area to be down there. I always recommend checking out the Arts District. down there around Main Street. Todd English just opened a new restaurant and a boutique hotel down there. So it's a really nice area. Live music, no cover charge, different breweries, great food, great people. I mean, people are just having fun and just excited to be outside. So definitely worth checking out. Another YouTuber showed that off. Yeah, probably. It's very popular. Yeah. MGM status match ending. I haven't heard about MGM status match ending. I just knew that they had an open. Well, I did that on the Caesars Diamond versus MGM, and on MGM's website they do have a status match for any Caesars throughout the year. So, and it's you don't have to be only new to MGM to status match from Caesars to MGM. Where if you're status matching from MGM to Caesars, Caesars program is only new members of their rewards program. So MGM definitely a little bit better, in my opinion, when it comes to that, because I can status match from Caesars Diamond, where I am now, to MGM Gold, and I'm already an MGM rewards member, but they will still status match me to Gold for 2023. Where if I'm status matching from MGM to Caesars, I can only status match with Caesars if I'm a new Caesars Rewards member. So MGM definitely wins on that one. Let's see. DG Productions. Hello, everybody. Have any updates on the new hotel that's opening opposite Park MGM? Okay, great question. And that's something that's obviously been in the news because of what happened there, that awful tragedy that happened there. The only update that we have is that the property has been sold. It is going to be a native property. Now, this is going to be the first Native American owned property on Las Vegas Boulevard, ground up property. There is a Native American tribe that's going to be operating the casino at the new Hard Rock down there at MGM. But this is going to be the first ground up on Las Vegas Boulevard that's going to be completely owned by Native American tribes. So that's really exciting. Hello. So let's talk about MGM while we're talking about Hard Rock and them down there. Hard Rock has officially taken over. That deal happened December 19th. They are still functioning as Mirage. Everything is still Mirage. The volcano is still going off. And I've seen out there on social media videos with folks kind of being dramatic, saying this is the last time, the volcano's gone forever. That's simply not true. The volcano is still going off as scheduled. So don't believe the hype on those videos. Also seen a lot of videos of Bally's showing horseshoe signage on the front of the building and big poker chips up there on the front of the building. That's actually an artist rendering that people are putting in their videos. It doesn't look like that at all. It doesn't have that out there. We were just out there last week. We stayed at Horseshoe for a couple days, and the only thing that's different is the casino. They changed the carpet. There's new lighting. Jack Binion Steakhouse is open. The downstairs, they put an arcade where the sports book used to be, but that's really it. There's not really anything new out there. Grand Bazaar shops are still there. We ate at Wahlburgers for lunch one day. The Jubilee Tower, which is the tower that's on Las Vegas Boulevard, hasn't been painted yet. It's still blue and white. They were working on the resort tower that faces Flamingo, finishing up painting that side of the building. So that's what's going on there. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to say thank you. Thank you guys so much for supporting our channel, supporting Ninth Island Connection. We really appreciate you. Just last week, we made it to 8,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is really unfathomable because we started this channel just kind of as a hobby, I guess. In 2020, when everybody was stuck in their houses, we thought, why don't we start a YouTube channel? and never thought that we would get to this point. Like I always say, we're a television show first with a YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for supporting our YouTube channel, for supporting our television show, Ninth Island Connection. We appreciate all of you, and comment, message us, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if there are specific things that you guys want to see on these weekly updates. Let me know. Next week, I am going to make another attempt at doing this live update on the Las Vegas Strip. It's not supposed to be windy next week, so keep your fingers crossed for me on that one there. But we're going to be down on the Strip next week. So Wednesday, I'm hoping to be able to go live from there with another update. So we'll recap Pro Bowl and everything that happened this weekend in Vegas, and then bring you guys up to speed on what's happening in Vegas next weekend. So again, message us on Instagram. We're Ninth Island Connection. TikTok, Ninth Island Connection. Facebook, Ninth Island Connection. Twitter, Ninth Island TV, because too many characters for Ninth Island Connection. And of course, message us here on the message us here on our YouTube channel in the community tab. I put posts up there from time to time. Let us know what you guys want to see. And again, thank you guys so much for all of the support. We appreciate you. And if you look at the comments, I try to comment, and I'm a little bit behind right now because we've been doing a lot of shooting, but I'm going to be back on it this afternoon responding to comments. I try to do my best to respond to as many comments as I can see. If I miss your comment and you have a question in there, direct message me on Instagram, message us on Twitter. You can email us through the website, ninthislandconnection.com. There's an option to send a message there. If I miss you and you want that answer right then, hit us up. I do my best to get back to all of you guys, and because we appreciate you so much. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next time.